After a year of no fair last year, we get the chance to walk through the Linn County Fair. It's the Linn County Fair Highlight Show right here on MediaCom MC22. Hi, I'm Justin Roberts.
I'm Cortland, and this is actually, my second time?
Your second
at
time?
the Linn County Fair.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to be here. I want to eat a lot of fair food, and I want to pet a lot of animals.
So stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun. In fact, we're going to head to the Cockadoodle Zoo right after this. The Linn County Fair Highlight Show on MediaCom MC22 is brought to you by Extreme, powered by MediaCom.
The Cockadoodle Zoo here at the Linn County Fair, and I have with me Kathy Clements. Kathy, tell me about the Cockadoodle Zoo. I haven't been in there yet, but it looks like a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. We get a lot of children and adults in there. We started the Cockadoodle Zoo probably back in the early 90s, I believe. Our 4-H club, which is Indian Creek 4-H Club, thought we should have some animals here because all the livestock was not here all at the same time like it is now. So we thought it would be nice to have different species of livestock here. So there were some old horse barns in this area, and there was one that had an open front but a roof on it, so we decided that would be our little Cockadoodle Zoo area. So for I think 2 years we took that over, and just members from our club brought in animals. And then the buildings got torn down. They were not very in good condition. And they built this wonderful building for us, and we expanded it, and we've added a sandbox for kids. First started with tractors and farm equipment, and now there's sand toys in there too. So
what kind of animals do you have in there?
We have got draft horse, and they're a baby, and then we've got some miniature horses, a miniature horse, a mini potbelly pig with some babies.
Oh.
This year we have some hedgehogs with the babies, and there's also a longhorn, a mini cow and a baby, and just chickens and rabbits and other animals.
So you've been working here at the fair for a long time. How did you end up getting involved?
Well, I was in 4-H. My parents were both in 4-H, and so they showed here as young kids here. I've got pictures of them standing under the same tree that's still standing here. That's got to be really old. It didn't blow down. And they were very active in 4-H. And so that's how we got involved with the 4-H, and then got on the fair board, got on the fair association just to help with the fair. It just kind of grows on you, and you just
Yeah.
want to be involved, and it's a lot of fun to see everybody come out and have a good time.
It's a bit of a family affair for you guys then.
It is,
You
yes.
said you have everybody in the family involved.
Pretty much. Yes.
So tell me, aside from the Cockadoodle Zoo, what else do you like to do here at the fair?
Well, I am a 4-H leader, so I like to see our exhibitors, all the exhibitors show their projects, whether it's static or livestock. And I volunteer for the Fair Queen Committee. I'm on that. And I'm also on the committee for the zoo. And just wherever someone is needed, I try to help out wherever I can.
Well, that's great.
And I think everybody does that on the Fair Association.
Are you glad to be back this year? Because I know last year was a little bit different.
Absolutely. Last year we decided, because it was a virtual fair, we were trying to think how we can do a Cockadoodle Zoo virtually. So we did videos from people's homes. We have sheep, so I did a video of my ewes giving birth and getting sheared.
Oh, wow.
And that was posted on our website. And then we had someone talking about their turtle, and that turtle's here. We had someone talking about their horse, about pigs, about cattle, and all that was put on our website, so anybody, anywhere, they can go on the internet, could see our virtual Cockadoodle Zoo, and it was all a learning experience too.
Yeah, so even though there wasn't a physical fair, you guys found a way to make it work, and you still put in the work. I'm sure it would have been weird to just not have a fair at all.
Yes, yeah, it was weird.
Well, we're so happy that you're here and that you've been a part of the fair for so long, and thank you so much for talking with me today.
Well, thanks for coming out today.
Hi. Now we can say hi to the bunnies.
Hello.
Tell me a little bit about where we are here in the Linn County Fairgrounds.
Right here, we're in the garden building, and right now we have the Ag Ed Zone going on, so there's a lot of opportunities for kids and families to come up. We have a couple different activities for them to do.
And I see there's a bunch of little families, anything from kids who can barely walk all the way to mom and dads. So it's kind of a chance for everybody to learn something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about some of the things. Obviously, we're in front of this mural here. Kind of give me a virtual walkthrough of what's going to be around us here.
We have live duck races. We have a scavenger hunt to go all around the fair. We have face painting for part of the day. We have
Looks like
We
there's facts on the wall
Yeah.
behind us and everything too. So
there's a little craft station where you can make yourself little chicks and stuff.
Gotcha. What for you personally, being the president of the FFA, which I'm going to ask you about in a little bit, what's it mean for you to be here after a year of not being at the fairgrounds?
For me, it's great to see everybody back out here being able to do everything we've been able to do in the past and just have 1 year off, and it's coming back and it's going how it used to.
Now the easy questions. Tell me about you. Tell me about Ethan. Tell me about being the president of the FFA chapter.
Our FFA chapter, we're working on growing and just getting more participation and trying to get back out to the community and do more stuff now that COVID's starting to slow down so we can open more stuff. For me personally, I think as a member, we are trying to just open back up, get back to what we're used to, and being able to get back out there and help people.
Now, as the president of the FFA chapter, does that mean you get to go to every single building here on the fairgrounds free reign? Do you have like a security detail? How does that work?
No, we're sticking to this building. I personally show chickens, so I'll go over there and show chickens one of our days. Otherwise, we stick to this building and just work this.
As you see, Ethan, all these families kind of moving through your guys' display here at the fairgrounds, what's some things you hope they remember when they make the trip through here?
I hope they remember to just come back next year and tell their people to come back. So, because next year and every year from now, it will always be different. So there'll always be some new stuff to learn.
The fair, after not being here for a year, now we're back. Tell me about, besides where we're at, some of your favorite things to do here at the fairgrounds.
My favorite thing personally is all the different types of fair food. Best thing here. I like to go walk around all the animal barns though too.
Now, for somebody who's never come out to the fair before, give them a couple of reasons why should they make a point to get up here to Central City, see you guys, and spend a day or two out in the country.
I think it's important to go walk to all the livestock buildings so you can learn a lot from just walking by them, seeing what it's really about, just the fun in it, and come through here so you can learn a bunch of different activities, do activities. It's fun. It's a good just day trip or two.
Mm-hmm. How many members do you guys have here on a daily basis? Because obviously you're not the only one that's running the building. I see all kinds of FFA shirts walking around.
We have 6 people here in 3-hour increments.
Okay, gotcha.
So 6 people each 3 hours that will be working here, and then we have a few members showing animals and stuff. So
in the last couple of minutes we have left here, tell everybody why they need to come out and see you.
I think you need to come out so you can just experience the fair. I think the fair is it's a really fun experience to come see us, because there's a bunch of activities, the scavenger hunt's really fun to do because you walk all around the fair and it gives you another reason to do it once or twice.
There you go.
I'm here at the Linn County Fair, and I'm being joined by fair royalty. Hello, Kira. Kira is the Linn County Fair Queen for 2021.
Yes.
What an honor. How do you get to be queen of a whole fair?
You know, I was pretty amazed myself. We went through this whole process of getting to know all these other candidates, really getting the public to know you as well. So we went to farmers markets, we went to a Night of Queens, where we really got to know, how do you be a queen, how do you write an interview, and really prepping us for this week and for future use. So it was a long process within this month, and we are all really excited.
Have you learned how to do the proper queen wave yet?
I'm working on it. I'm not too good at it yet, but I'm working on it.
Now, Kira, you're not only the Linn County Fair Queen, but I also think of you as kind of a chicken queen. Can you tell me what you do with chickens here at the fair?
So my parents are part of the committee, so I have been around poultry for a really long time, so I kind of get a feel for poultry. So basically, I raise these birds at home. Every year, I'll hatch these eggs that I'll show at the fair. This year, I did not get any eggs hatched, so I have 2 birds with me this year, as well as the meat birds. And we should raise them at home, keep them clean, fed and watered, and as healthy as possible to really bring these birds to the fair to make all these other birds safe. And then you get here, and it's a blast. You'll get judged, and you still got to keep these birds clean and healthy, because when they come here, they do become stressed. You know, it's stressful because they're in a new environment, and all these different sounds are around. So the big key here is really keeping them healthy, watered, and fed.
So you really love chickens then?
I do, yes.
Do you name your chickens?
I used to, and I used to pick out every single one. And, oh, this is Patricia, this is, you know, all these different birds. But now I've grown to just raise them, not get too attached, because I will sell them eventually. Mm-hmm.
So Kira, what else do you like to do here at the Linn County Fair?
I really like to socialize. I like walking around saying hi.
With more than
guys?
just chickens?
More than just chickens,
okay.
Yes. And the food here is fantastic.
Ooh, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Hamburgers. I know they're like an Iowa tradition, but here they just hit different. You know, you really get that fair feel. And funnel cakes, oh man, amazing.
Funnel cakes. Yes,
amazing.
I agree. So I hear you're also trying to do something with hay cap right now. Can you tell us about that?
So this year we have started a new project. It's called the Meat Bird Project. So basically we have all these volunteers and 4-Hers that are raising these meat birds to bring to fair Saturday morning, to get judged, and we're going to send these birds to processing for free. And the birds who are getting donated will go to hay cap. And these birds will eventually feed our community after they're processed.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool experience.
It is a really cool experience.
Yeah.
By the way, how old are you?
I'm 16.
Oh my gosh, I feel so old right now. Well, Kira, thank you so much for talking to us today, and congratulations on being the queen.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great. I love it so much.
You're watching the Linn County Fair Highlight Show. You're watching the Linn County Fair Highlight Show with Mediacom MC22. On the way after the break, we talk to more fair royalty.
softer than I thought they would be.
Welcome back. More fun here at the Linn County Fair on MediaCom MC22. We could talk to the whole slate of realty. I have Kira, Queen Kira,
Hi.
and I have Princess Savannah. Kira, since you're holding the microphone, I'm going to start with you. You are the reigning queen now. Does that mean any gas station in Linn County you get in for free? What does it mean to be the queen for the Linn County Fair?
It means that I'm an advocate for agriculture. It means that I'm here to represent Linn County, and I'm here to have fun. So I do not get free food or anything. I still pay for all of that. But I do get in for all these events to really open up every single night for people to get to know me and the princess this year and get our name out there and present so that we can be there for the fair and really represent the fair well.
Tell me a little bit about you, where you're from. Do you live on a farm? Kind of give me the backstory.
All right, so I live in the country. I live on a little hobby farm. So my dad grew up on a big farm and he moved out here with my mom. And my dad's like, we're not doing a big operation. We're just gonna do small animals. So we got chickens, we have goats, we even have a cow. And you know, I'm not a big cow person, but they're really cute. They're super cute. So I'm gonna be a junior and I'm FFA, 4-H, youth council, and student council.
Okay.
So I do a little bit of everything that I can. So.
Hand the microphone off to Savannah. Savannah, tell me about you. Introduce yourself. You're the reigning princess.
Yeah, I am the princess. What do you want to know?
Tell me everything. I want the whole story. First name, last name, where mom and dad are, where's home, what school you go to, favorite color, all that stuff.
All right, so I'm Savannah Nick. I am the princess, and I went to Center Point Urbana High School. I just graduated. I will be attending Iowa State in the fall. I live in the city, so I don't have a farm or anything like that. I do have a pet bearded dragon.
Well, what does it mean for you to be the princess? I mean, you get to follow Savannah, or you get to follow Kira around. You guys get to go do parades, and you get to walk around the fairgrounds.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun together, and we get to see all the kids and everything.
When little kids come up to you guys, are they just enamored that, oh my gosh, you guys are wearing crowns? They think you're princesses? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, they really like the crown. They think it's really pretty. It always draws their attention, so we like to wave at them. Sometimes we get to have a picture with them. It's pretty fun to
What's your favorite part about being here at the fairgrounds?
I really like just walking around and seeing everyone, seeing everything. And then we got to help with the kitty calf show yesterday. That was pretty great.
And Queen Kira, I will ask you the same question. Your favorite part about being here at the fairgrounds?
I like socializing. I'm a really big fan of talking. I like talking to new people. I'm like, hi guys, how are you? You know, I love seeing all these different people that come to the fair, and you see new faces every year. So it's really good to see all these new people coming in.
One of the first things you said was that you are an advocate, you promote agriculture. Tell me a little bit about why that's important to you and why you wanted to be the queen.
So we're teaching kids that all eggs taste the same. Blue, brown, white, they all taste the same, and that chocolate milk does not come from brown cows.
It doesn't?
It does not.
You're
No.
just telling me this now?
Yes,
We should have
I am.
started the interview with that.
Yes.
That's groundbreaking stuff. But it's stuff like that
Yeah.
kids who aren't used to being on a farm, kind of get enamored and learn about this stuff.
Yeah, so we really want those kids to learn the real truth of agriculture and the history of it. So we really want to bring out the real truth, what really goes on, what really happens, and not all these silly things that people make mistakes of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we want the truth. Yeah. Yep.
Savannah, I will ask you the same question. Why is it important, and why did you want to be the princess?
I think it's really important because we need to know where our food comes from. We need to keep supporting the agriculture and stuff like that. And I really enjoy teaching kids about it because we do a farm day at our school, our 4-H club does, and we get to teach pre-K to second graders all about that. Farm safety is also in that, and it's just really cool to teach them. Goats don't eat everything. Storybooks say it, they don't eat everything. So
As a kid growing up, did you think someday I was going to be the princess at the fairgrounds? Was this something that you kind of hoped and dreamed for?
It was a big dream come true. It was pretty cool to live that up. So.
And we'll hand the mic back to the queen. Same question for you. Did you grew up as a little kid? Someday I want to be the fair queen.
You know, when I joined 4-H in 4th grade, I've always watched coordination. I'm like, how cool is that? That's really cool. And then last year when Caitlin Bean got crowned, I was like, I want to be just like her. So I was like, I'm going to try my best and see what happens. And now I'm standing here talking to you guys.
Yes, you are. Well,
So,
congratulations,
yeah.
ladies. Thanks for having us. And may the sun shine upon your reign for the next
Yeah,
year.
thank you. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, I have Neil Snyder with us here. And Neil, you are in charge of this firefighter show behind us. What happens here? Do you light things on fire?
We have no real fire.
Okay.
We simulated fire scene. It is a fire safety show for kids, but it's an interactive show.
Okay.
We pick volunteers from the audience to come in and actually become the firefighters in the show. We do usually pick kids to help us out, give them a chance to see what it might be like to become a firefighter.
So you wouldn't choose me if I was sitting in the audience?
I might choose you. I mean,
I don't know if any of those little jackets would fit me.
Oh, we got jackets for just about every size. Every size that's old enough to follow directions, we have an outfit that would fit them. But.
So what does this show entail then? What are some of the things that you have the kids do?
Well, we have the kids respond to a simulated fire call where they get all their equipment off our fire truck here, the hoses, the nozzles. The fire extinguishers are what we actually use to put out our simulated fire back here. And we roll things into a fun competition for the kids.
So you're a firefighter in real life then, I'm assuming?
I am really a firefighter chief at the firefighter show. I've never been a firefighter.
Really?
I've been doing fair shows for 29 years.
Have you ever wanted to be a firefighter?
My brother is a career firefighter and
Oh.
retired. He all the way from high school all the way through his 40th birthday. He got to retire when he was 40,
Oh, must be nice.
and that was quite a while ago for me.
Did he teach you everything that you know then?
We actually put together the show together a
that's
little bit, but
awesome.
he is not a showman. You know, the smoke and the and the music and the sound effects were not his cup of tea. But
So it's
for
all
me,
you.
working with kids is what I've done for 30 years.
How
so.
did you get involved here at the Linn County Fair?
Well, I booked through some agents. One of the agents that, they booked previous entertainment through. It was just my turn to get involved here. And
Are you enjoying yourself then?
yeah, so far it's great. It's the second day. It's Kids Day. The first show today was Full House.
Oh, nice.
They were having a great time. Yeah.
Have you checked out some other aspects of the fair then?
Lots of animals. There's
Lots of
animals at this fair, yeah. And last night they had a nice concert. If those of you that missed it, there was plenty of room, but the Brothers Walker were out here and they sounded great, and the people that were here had a wonderful time.
So you're having a good time then too?
Yeah, sure. This is great fair. Yeah.
So many great events here at the fair happening. We love the firefighter show. We're actually going to stick around and watch the show a little bit, I think.
All right, that'd
so
be great.
I'm excited. I like that there's fake smoke and this tiny truck over here.
Well, we got to make the simulation as real as we can.
Where did that come from, by the way?
That's something I built.
You built that?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was an electric car. Of course, I turned it into a fire truck, but.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. We're so excited to see the firefighter show at the Linn County Fair. Neil.
Maybe I'll have to get you in the show.
Please don't.
Please don't.
I don't think I'm cut out to be a firefighter.
Oh, I think we can train you. I think we can train kids, 6, 7 years old. I think you can do it.
If you can train a child, you can train me.
You're going to have a career after you retire from this media gig,
Yeah, I think so.
Firefighter might be it.
You're right. Well,
wait and see.
Thank you, Neil, for joining us today.
All righty. Thank you.
From static exhibits to livestock and so much more, we've got a lot more to come your way.
We're going to go try to ride one of these tractors real quick, and then we'll be right back with MediaCom MC22 at the Linn County Fair.
To Tractor Hill and sitting here with Jen Dunn, the Vice President of the Linn County Fair. How are you, Jen?
I'm good. It is wonderful to be back here.
I was going to ask you, without having a fair, you had a virtual fair last year. We're back on the grounds in Central City. Give me the overall feeling of leading up to it.
It's one of those things that we've prepared for, and we're hoping that we'd get the green light, and finally having it was just exciting to know that we could do this and bring everyone together again. Virtual was okay. It was something to learn and pivot from, and took a lot of great information from it, and even applying to stuff what we're doing today. But it's so much better being in person.
Well, and this is a fair that so many counties, the attendance goes down and the fair kind of withers away. I think it's fair to say that this is something that keeps growing and growing every year.
It sure does, and we're excited about that. And that was something that we knew had to make those changes to bring it back to life again. And knowing where we've come from back in 2006 and knowing where we're at now, today on a Thursday, and the weather was one of those things that we didn't know what it was going to be like, but it didn't shy anybody away. I mean, we're all here, and it's still hustle and bustle, and that's what we love to hear.
I want to go back in recent history. 2 years ago, the county fair had a tornado. A couple years before that, you had a flood. Last year, obviously, the pandemic happened. What is it about this fair and the group that you're vice president of that keeps plowing through every year and comes back bigger and stronger than ever?
I think it's one of those things that we learn about resilience, and we learn about rolling with the punches. Mother Nature tries to throw some curves at us, and that adaptation and that ability to pivot and to make the best situation possible. We're a resilient group, and we're excited about it, and never shy away from a challenge.
As a mother who grew up at this fair and now has daughters and friends who have kids that are coming through it, from that perspective, what do you look most forward about?
Being able to have the smiles and the excitement. We did, a cookie stacking contest, and the laughs and the fun. That's something that you can't take that away from anybody. And being able to provide that again in person, that's some of the best memories, and be able to create those memories for a lifetime to come.
And this is a fair that literally has something for everybody. Whether we've talked to kids who grew up in town that are still showing animals at the fairgrounds, everybody is included, nobody's excluded.
And that's exactly right. And that is our biggest thing, that we want to make sure that people understand that we've got a little bit of something for everybody. Somebody who may want to sit back and watch the log carving, or again, the cookie stacking, or maybe it's just to take in the poultry. Those are all different aspects of things, and education that goes along with it. From the farm to table, and learning about what all those things come from the farm to table. We're here to provide that, and that's our job to make sure that message is out.
You have Youth Day, you have a rock concert, you have a truck and tractor pull, you have a country concert. Is there something we're forgetting?
Volunteers. Volunteers is one of those things, that's something that we pride ourselves on. Being a fair of our magnitude and trying to make everything happen, we couldn't do it without volunteers. And with that help from them, this happens. And we couldn't do it from everything from picking up the garbage to greeting at the gate to scanning a ticket. They're the main focus that we also are able to provide the fair because of them.
You are a very busy, and I'm going to speak to you because you were, one like many of people in the viewing audience that is so busy in different directions, but yet you give up your time, you give up at least 2 weeks to make this happen. Yeah. What makes you do that? Why?
Again, I think it comes back to the memories that I grew up having. Our fair was much different than what it is now, but knowing that we're creating memories for a lifetime to come, and that's what we pride ourselves on. And so if we can create those family traditions everywhere, everything from the face painting, and knowing, I just talked to a little kid, he's excited because he gets popcorn. He knows when he comes to Youth Day, he's going to have popcorn. And those are the things that we're able to provide memories for. And I enjoy the smiles on the face and the excitement when it comes to fair time.
Jen, thank you for having us out here, and thank you for keeping this going, too.
Thank you for being a huge supporter. We appreciate it. Again, it takes a group, and it takes an effort from everyone.
Talk to the fair queen, but I consider Heidi to be the queen of the Linn County Fair. Heidi Steffen. Heidi, how's it going so far this year?
It is going great. It is great to be back in person in a fair after last year being a virtual fair, so we couldn't ask for anything other.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys did last year for the virtual fair?
Yeah, so we made a decision end of May to go completely virtual, even the 4-H. So the 4-Hers, for example, actually had to videotape if they did a static exhibit, they had to videotape it and talk about it as if they were talking to the judges.
Wow.
And livestock, they had to take certain pictures from certain angles and then submit that. Mm-hmm. And then from the fair side, we did all sorts of things from having 4-Hers do a video of how they got their project ready to fair board members on why they're still with the fair. What do they love the most about the fair? Mm-hmm. And then we did virtual we had a virtual concert. We had a virtual Impact Pro Wrestling, which will be here actually in person this year. So it was lots of fun. And there's just so much going on, but it doesn't compete to the in-person fair.
No, of course not. How great does it feel to have people here and like eating fair food.
It actually still gives me kind of chills just knowing where we were a year ago. And the best thing is the youth. Seeing the youth here, because that's what the fair is about. The fair is about the youth to come here, to showcase their talents, and just to have fun. I mean, that's what the county's fair is. And so it's great to be able to see kids here again, families just sitting back, having a corn dog, little funnel cake, and enjoying the fair.
Have you had a corn dog yet?
I have not, but I've had other fair food. My favorite's probably the ribbon potatoes.
Ribbon fries.
Yes.
We just had some of those.
Those
covered
are
in
yummy.
cheese. Really, really good.
Yep, and the next one would be the nuts. You'll have to try those.
Okay, I will. So Heidi, how long have you been working here with the Linn County Fair?
So I started back in 2005, and my first coming on was the first time we had a carnival in over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And 2007 was the first time we had a concert in how many years? So we've grown just in a 10-year period from that point over 600%. So just to see the fair today is great, because when I grew up, it was just 4-H FFA. There was none of this. So now for my children, they get to have an opportunity and experience I didn't to have, but they'll have memories for years to come.
Are you guys staying here on the fairgrounds then?
Yes.
So it's just nonstop fair for the whole week.
They're running around. They're around here somewhere.
What are some of your favorite activities at the 2021 fair?
I would say one of my favorites, Youth Day on Thursday. It's when we have tons of free activities for the kids, and it's just so many kids. And I think some of the other is just the 4-H side of it. I mean, that's one things that a lot of people when they go to a fair maybe aren't familiar with. And one of the things that we've really expanded on is our ag education zone. I'm a city girl myself, but I learn something new every year. And I think it's important for us in Linn County, as being the second largest urban county in Iowa, to really educate and promote agriculture, because that's what Iowa's about, is agriculture. So here's our opportunity to do that. And there are fun hands-on activity from duck races to
with real ducks.
I know.
I expected them to be like those little rubber ducks. You flip them over and there's like a colored sticker on the bottom. No, I was like, those are real ducks.
Yes. Who doesn't want to play with a real duck?
I also got to hold a baby hedgehog, which was really cool, and I got to pet a horse. So I'm also a city girl, and I feel like I've been learning so much at the fair these past few days.
Yeah, and that's where kids come out. You know, the joke we always say is that the kids don't understand how that chocolate milk got on the table, and it didn't come from a brown cow. You know? So if we can just help that, and a little bit at a time, the better.
What are you looking forward to in the coming years for the Linn County Fair?
We just hired a new fair manager. It's a brand new position, and his responsibility is to help us continue to grow. He's not from this area, so we're excited for him to bring new ideas. And because then he's a full-time position, right now we're all volunteers. We'll be able to put more effort and grow things, and we're always looking for ideas from fairgoers. We have a comment box in our LDM building to have information, but we continue to see it grow, bring new things, always trying to change up the grandstand events to bring different crowds. So we have something for everyone is our goal at the fair.
Well, you're doing a great job, Heidi, and so is everybody else here at the Linn County Fair. We're so happy to be here, and can't wait to spend the rest of the weekend at the fair.
Welcome to the fair.
We've made our way inside the Linn Dunn Memorial Building at the Linn County Fairgrounds. Alex Knobloch, how are you, sir? Thanks for having us.
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. A beautiful day at the fair, beautiful time to be at the fair. Introduce yourself to everybody watching in. Who are you? Where are you from?
All right, I am Alex Knobloch from Central City, Iowa. I'm 16 years old, and we live on a farm a little bit outside Central City.
Now, what kind of farm? You got animals, crops?
It's not a big farm. We only have like 3 acres. We keep chickens, and I keep bees, honeybees. That's a lot of fun.
Tell me a little bit about, first of all, the bee business. It's not like cattle. You don't go out and milk the cows. You don't go out and milk the bees. Tell me about what happens in the beekeepery, if you will.
Really, I just look at them, put on some, make honey, and do some stuff. Check on them, wear protective gear. That's fun. And do some monitoring, make sure their pests and diseases are low. Kind kind of like other livestock, but different in a lot of different ways.
Now, do
different
you
ways,
bring
too.
honey to the fair then, or?
Well, the fair doesn't have the Linn County Fair doesn't have a honey division. It has an entomology division.
Okay.
But the state fair does have honey, and I've wanted to show there before.
Tell me a little bit about what brings you here. Obviously, you're wearing your 4-H green shirt. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's a chance to kind of like, I don't know, get like life experiences and get judged on it too. It's not just like you build something or something. You get to do life experiences, get judged on it and evaluated. And if you make a mistake or mess up, it's not a big problem.
It's a learning experience throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
16 years old, so tell me about school. I'm assuming at 16 you would be a sophomore?
Yes, I just finished my sophomore year.
So
And,
a little bit about the school experience here in Central City then? Or?
I homeschool.
Okay,
So we do
okay.
it at home. And yeah, I've been doing it since first grade, homeschool.
Well, let's talk about 4-H. It's been years since I've been in 4-H. What have I missed in the 20-some years since I haven't been? What's changed, and what are you guys still doing in 4-H?
Let's see. We have club meetings. We get stuff prepped for the fair. We do some like community service stuff. We haven't done a lot of it recently, but yeah, we would go out and like make cards for veterans or yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, because you just brought it up, last year you missed out on the fair. We're back this year. People are around us as we're talking right now. What's that mean to you personally to be able to be back up here on the fairgrounds?
Well, it's really great to have everything in person, actually be talking to the judge, see people looking at exhibits and stuff. It's a lot of fun. A lot better than it was last year.
Oh, I bet so. Now, we're used to seeing livestock, but I know you've got some what they call static exhibits here on the fairgrounds. Explain what's a static exhibit, and then what did you bring this year?
Let's see. A static exhibit is basically anything that isn't alive. Anything that's not an animal. Any project like cooking or like visual arts, creative arts, painting, stuff like that. Or even science, engineering, and technology, where you like restored vehicle or engine or flower box, anything.
So what did you bring specifically?
Let's see. I brought a refurbished beehive.
Okay.
I made a flower box with out of refurbished beehives. I rebuilt my go-kart engine, and I made a poster about the biomes around the world.
Now, for those projects, how long does it take to do something like that?
Let's see. Well, my engine, I started taking it apart like last July, and we worked on it for quite a few months. The poster I threw together in about a week. Well, that was a little, maybe a little less, more time on that one, but the other one's probably about 3-4 weeks, maybe a little longer, like 2 months or so.
Well, and within the building here, I see quilts, I see pictures. It's kind of an opportunity for a little bit of, if you don't have livestock, you can take pictures and other stuff like that, which really opens it up to everybody, it seems.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, because you can, even if you live in town or not on a farm or something, you can cook something, you can make a quilt, you can sew something, you can do anything.
Well, before we head to commercial break, tell everybody why they need to come see you here at the Linn County Fair and what you enjoy about it.
Well, I really enjoy it because there's a lot of stuff going on all the time, and there's all sorts of things happening, and always something fun happening, and you can see what the other 4-H'ers have been doing, and even the livestock. That's fun too, watching the shows and all that.
Well, I appreciate the time, sir. We're going to take a break. Stay where you are. More from the Linn County Fair right here on MediaCom MC 22. Here with Perry Smith. Perry, on the fairgrounds, we had to take 20 steps to step back in time. Tell me a little about where we are.
We're in an 1800 Western theme setup where all the kids can come in, they can touch, they can hold history, they can shell corn, they can make a rope, they can touch a skunk hide or a possum and just go around and see what our heritage and where we came from in the 1800s.
We're hearing a lot about, kids who have never been experienced on the farm. They come to the fair, they get to see the animals, but you really open it a lot more, and I would say even some adults don't have the realization or the appreciation for where we were to now where we are, and that's where you come in.
It is. They come in here and they can step back in time. They can see what their great-grandfather did, and in the history books it talks about Lewis and Clark. Well, here's a teepee. It talks about the Civil War. I've got an authentic cavalry sword. I've got bullets from Richmond, Virginia, and Moss-Furlsboro that they dug out of the ground, so they can experience and touch it and realize it.
Tell me about how you kind of started doing this and taking this kind of show on the road. Take me back to the beginning.
Yeah.
How did it all start?
We had a couple hit and miss gas engines, and my boys went, Dad, what do we do now? And I said, well, let's go to the swap tent. We got a corn sheller and we got a corn grinder. And then my kids were behind the fence doing it, and there's 6 or 7 kids sitting there going, can we do it? Can we do it? And then fast forward 10 years and we got this set up, and now everybody gets to experience our history.
One of the big things that I noticed when we walked in, you can't miss this teepee behind me. That's an attention grabber. When people come in, what kind of questions are they asking you, Perry?
Well, did you sleep in there? And I go, I did. I love sleeping in my teepee in my Civil War tent. And where'd you get it? And they want to know how old the teepee is, and just is that real hide or anything? But most everything nowadays is reproduction, but it's the real deal.
This is the real deal. So how long has this stuff all been with you? Because I'm assuming it's a package deal. You pack up and you go from town to town and kind of explain this appreciation and everything.
Yep, it's a 20-year collection of me and my boy. He's 10 years old. We're at an auction, and he's hit me on the leg. Dad, we need that Civil War tent. We need that Civil War tent, and we need that. We need that. And it was just a love of our history. I grew up on a farm in the summertime, and my kids hung out with all the farmers. I had 4 FFA presidents run through our house at one time, in and out, and it was just a great deal. You meet such great people out here at the fair and the FFA, the 4-H'ers. It just is wonderful.
Well, I was going to ask you, obviously you enjoy being out in the public with this. What is it that keeps you going? I mean, you could be doing so many other things, not standing here in the sun with the full hide and everything, but this is clearly a passion of yours.
It's that little boy that comes around the corner to see if I'm here, and I see it, and he comes up and he goes, you're here, I can make a rope. and that's what drives you. And now kids that I got that were 8 years old are having kids, and they're bringing their kids, and they're telling them, yep, I made a rope when I was your age, and now he's here, so you can enjoy what I enjoyed as a kid. So
you obviously hit the road a lot with not being able to do it last year. You're back into it this year. What's that mean for you personally to be able to be back out here and telling the story of the past?
It's just a great deal. It's what my passion is to do this, and my kids got me started on it, and it's the fair board here that accommodates anything and everything that do you need this, do you need help, and it's just families of circles of families, and we just get along. It's a good feeling. It really is.
Well, Perry, final quick question. Why do people need to make sure to stop by and see you when they come out here to the fair?
A taste of history is right here. You can experience the Civil War. You can see a teepee and stand inside and feel the breeze come up. You can make a rope, and it's our heritage. It's our farm heritage. It's our Western heritage. It's our Civil War. It's all right here.
I am here at the Linn County Fair with Dick Bennett, and I have so many questions for you. First of all, can you tell me what you're doing here at the Linn County Fair?
I usually tell the people here that I was brought in a spaceship and lowered down because this is not something that they would have ever seen before at their county fair. And the lady that's running this fair wanted to bring in some live demonstrations. Had been to Old Threshers in Mount Pleasant and seen me down there, and the gentleman that's next to me. So we have what's called living history. And dead history is the book that you read where you passed out into the book. And living history smells and you get sap on you, and the food is good and it rains on you and you still like it. So
what brought you here to the fair then? You just want to do your demonstrations for people?
No, my neighbor swindled me into peeling poles for him that I brought down. And I got heat prostration here 2 years ago and was happy to leave, but then I got invited back, so I came. And I brought the poles with me that like the ones that he bought, and I'm peeling. My goal is 75 poles I'm going to peel this week, as well as show the items in my store.
So you actually are going to build a teepee over there?
I'm building the poles for a teepee, but I constructed the teepee that's behind you for him.
Wow.
I built it in my leather shop.
So how do you get into this? Where do you even learn to build a teepee?
I went to a living history event where two people that I knew were getting married, and I wore a leather vest, and I thought I was being pretty historic until I got there and found out that I was missing about 1,000 things I needed to be a part of the thing. So I started out staying outside of the area like a person would in a camper until I gathered enough stuff to actually be qualified to be at the event and have everything I needed to be accurate for 1700, 1840.
Wow, I mean, you are very impressive. I have never met anybody in my life who knows how to build a teepee. Do you know anyone else who does?
Well, I went to northern Minnesota with an old guy that kind of swindled me when I did it, and he showed me where to get poles, and he showed me how to peel them, and that started off. And I did such a good job that my friends asked me to go back up 9 hours and cut more and bring them home.
So where exactly do you go to get those then?
From my house, it's a 9-hour drive up to the Iron Range, an hour from the Canadian border.
Wow.
The mosquitoes are so thick up there when I go up there. I was up there a week ago that you have to wear a sweater and full winter clothing, and it makes the bugs mad.
Oh my gosh.
And then you go out in the woods and your biggest problem is widowmakers, trees that have moved since you last were there that are leaning on other trees that can get you.
Oh, wow.
So I check in with people up there. I go out. I actually cut suppressed growth, small trees that are 90 years old, that are up to 30 feet long. And they make extremely strong teepee poles. And I can't explain to you why I ended up there, but that's what I was taught. And it has turned into 500,000 poles for people, youth groups, families, Indians, and people all over the United States.
Wow, that's impressive. How do you get the poles back and forth? You just tie some onto the roof of your car?
I have a 1-ton truck that'll haul 150 poles at a time. So I drive 9 hours up, I cut poles that day, and I drive back to Iowa. And
Wow.
then I go to an event, and I use it as a demonstration for kids while I'm actually making money peeling them. And the poles, when they're peeled, dry to half weight in a day.
Well, you were telling me that you have done a lot of events. You know the exact number, don't you?
Well, it's because I do one at a time.
Okay.
And I just keep track, but it's 1642.
That's a
and
lot.
this is a flyer for me because I've never been here before. So you take a risk in bringing. There's 6 tons of stuff that I brought, and and you don't need any of it to come to the fair. So, but it's pretty cool stuff. And that's what I do. So this and one other event I've added this year because of COVID and the joy that people have found just getting out and talking like we are is great. I mean, it might be the best year we've ever had just to talk to people and learn things.
Absolutely. I've learned a lot from you just standing here right now.
And that's I'm more polite to children than I am adults because they're my future customers. And if I can get them to really listen to me, I have to teach them what they can't touch. I have to teach them what they can touch. And they may have parents who don't know anything about the subject. So when I get done with them, they know the difference between real and not real in my tent, just in a walkthrough.
Well, we are so glad that you are here at the Linn County Fair. Thank you so much for telling us all about what you're doing here.
You bet. And there aren't any dumb questions, so you're welcome to come out. And it's fun when the old guys come in because they don't know anything about anything that's in here either. So,
I think you're the only one.
And you know what? It's been a drought all over Iowa, and it's been like really cool and really sprinkly, but no problem for anybody coming out here. It's just beautiful, and we stay out here. When I come to an event, we live here, so I'll be living here until Sunday, and come on out.
Thank you, Dick Bennett, for introducing us to what you do.
You bet.
Stay tuned for more on MediaCom.
Unique fair foods is Covered Wagon Almonds. I'm lucky enough to be joined by Lee and Nancy Foster. Lee, how did this whole thing get started?
The woman came through town in a covered wagon, and eventually we got married.
So literally, so she came with the whole deal, right?
Well, actually, she didn't have the covered wagon at the time. She had the covered wagon, but she didn't have this at the time. She had a real covered wagon.
A legit covered wagon.
Right.
Well, and this, tell me a little bit about how this, how long have you guys been at it here?
I think we started at the Old Threshers in 2007.
Okay.
And we've grown from there. I don't know, we don't do many states, but we do scattered all over.
Gotcha. Well, Lee, I'm going to have you hand the microphone off to Nancy. Now I'm going to ask you the hard questions. What is it about this guy that makes you want to spend, a week at a time in a very small space with him selling covered wagon almonds and stuff?
Because my cat decided I should keep him.
So it was meant to be, from the covered wagon to the nuts to everything. Tell me a little bit about the business, because you walk by and you can't help but smell. It's just that good smell to it.
I used to do this with my brother, who has done it for several years, about 25 or 30 years, and I kept trying to talk him into coming out and working one fair. And he finally, after about 4 years, came out. We came home with one roaster, and now we have 6 in 3 units.
Wow.
Which is way too many.
Tell me a little bit about the flavors. There's got to be a special scientific process to get that to stay on there.
My sister-in-law developed most of the flavors. I have another sister in Missouri who also does this. And she has developed a couple of flavors. It's just, you think about, would this taste good or would it not? And you try it.
Actually, there are several things that just become fads. As not just in the food, but for instance, salted caramel fudge was a big thing.
Yep.
About 4 or 5 years ago, and so we jumped on it very quickly. And one of the other flavors is strawberry cheesecake. You know, cheesecake has been good for a long time. And another one is blueberry cheesecake. But my wife's favorite is black raspberry.
So tell me, how do you get that black raspberry flavor on an almond and have it stay there without shaking off in the bag where it's good in every bite?
It's a flavor that's a liquid flavor that we purchase, and we cook them in the roaster, and there's just a way that you do it so that they stays on. Some of them are a little difficult. Cinnamon sometimes won't stay on, so you have to be very careful. But most of the flavors are liquid, and you just put it on, and we buy the flavors in gallon jugs.
Were there any flavors that, this sounded like a great idea, but then tried to bring it to life and like, no, we're never trying that again, burn the recipe? Any one of those kind of stories?
Yes, there is in a way. The blueberry cheesecake just didn't sell for a while, but we got into a German community, and I don't know whether it's about the way they cook or things like that. It became #1 in Whiteside County, Illinois.
Really?
Just year after year, it was #1. And before that, at other locations, it hadn't been. And so we then realized that we need to think about how things are different. Well, for instance, at Old Threshers Reunion several years ago, we already had some idea of how much quantity of nuts we needed. However, because it was a different locale and different taste, we ran out of pecans, not at the end of the fair, but before the first day was over.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. So we know that Nancy's favorite flavor was the raspberry. What's his?
His is maple almonds, and we have that also in pecans, and we have also a black raspberry peanut that we call PB&J, which is really good.
Kids love it.
What I was going to say, when people meet you, do they say you're a little crazy or just a little bit nuts?
They know I'm crazy. But there are at least 3 and perhaps 4 generations that refer to me as their Uncle Ugly, and that's because long before I ever met her, one Sunday morning at church, somebody had a baby, and I said, Uncle Ugly needs to kiss one on the nose. And I have presented that as myself for several years, and adults will call me that.
Well, I thank you guys for the time. Our time has run short, unfortunately, but we want to make sure everybody comes out and sees you. Not only at this fair, but anytime you're out and about, look for Uncle Ugly and good-looking Aunt Nancy and their friends there at the Covered Wagon Almond stand.
County Fair with Claire Gaffney, who works here at the fair. You actually do a whole bunch of different stuff. First of all, can you tell me how old you are?
I'm 16 years old.
Okay, clearly much younger than I am. What do you do here at the fair?
Well, today I'm mostly working in the food booth behind us. I work at the window and serve food and drink to everyone.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. And please remember, you are on camera for this. Can you hook me up with some food after we're done with this interview?
Oh, absolutely.
The world is watching. I'm just kidding. What do you have back there, though? It smells really good.
Well, today the cattlemen are grilling for us. We have really good burgers we're serving.
Yes.
But our most popular item are the blizzards. We have cookie dough and Oreo blizzards.
Cookie dough are my favorite. I'm gonna have to come get one of those after this. Now, aside from working in the food booth here, what else do you do at the Linn County Fair?
Well, I don't show animals, but there's plenty else to do in 4-H. So I do communication and static exhibits.
What is
fashion.
that?
Well, I build something, or I make a cookie, or I construct some sort of a project, and then I write about it and I talk with a judge. It's actually a really great experience.
Okay, so there's judges involved in this, so can you win things?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a ribbon program, and it goes red, white, blue, and then we have a considered for state, and at the end of the day on judging, which was Monday, all of the considereds go and get rejudged to go get sent to state fair.
Wow.
So most people's goal is to get that purple ribbon.
Did you get a purple ribbon?
I did.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that exhibit is somewhere here at the fair then?
Yes. In front of us is the LDM building, which houses all the club booths and the projects. So 4-H clubs will decorate a booth, and there's actually prizes for best booths.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's real fun.
I'll have to go check that out after this.
Absolutely.
Now, aside from working here at the fair, are there other activities that you enjoy?
Yes, I love seeing the opening ceremonies, and yesterday some of my friends were crowned princess and queen.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I always wondered how people went about that whole process. Did you try to be a queen or a princess?
No, but I'm thinking about it next year.
Nice.
They go through interview processes and learn how better etiquette and things like that. So I'm really excited to maybe try that.
That's awesome. Now, we did talk about you working here in this food booth. Do you ever, betray the food booth and go over there and try to check out some fair food?
I try not to, but before the food booth is open, you'll definitely catch me over getting some funnel cake.
You gonna go to some concerts too, or some other events that are happening here?
I think I might. Sounds really fun.
Well, thank you so much, Claire. I hope that you have a great time at the State Fair, and congratulations on your big win, and I'm gonna see you in a few minutes when I come get some food from you.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
We're standing in front of what will be painted eventually, very soon actually, as the Linn County Freedom Rock. John Michelson with us. John, first of all, this, it's hard to picture what's going to be here, but it took a lot of work to get to where we are at this point.
That it did. This is a 7-foot rock that weighs 44,000 pounds. It did not arrive by my pickup.
I was going to say, it takes more than just a pickup and a trailer to get it here.
It did. And we had a lot of very helpful people with trailers and cranes and weigh stations.
With being so involved in the Freedom Rock here in Linn County, there will be one in every county, as you very well know. This is Linn County's. How did it come to be here on the fairgrounds?
Well, Linn is actually one of the last counties to be done. And when they put out the call 4 or 5 years ago for organizations in each county to say, hey, we want this, Bob James at K-Hawk Radio jumped in very quickly, put the first $1,000 down, and said, let's bring it to Cedar Rapids. I got involved shortly thereafter and was working at the Veterans Memorial Building. We spoke with the Veterans Memorial Commission, and we ran into some roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice grassy spot in front of the memorial building, but it's over a parking garage. Structurally, wasn't going to work. Then there was a spot out by the ball stadium in Memorial Park, but because of the way Mr. Sorensen paints, we could not guarantee to the commission that every service would be represented depending on the size of the rock, the number of facets he had to work with, and the specific individuals he wants to represent. So it didn't quite meet the requirements for all Veterans Memorial. So we spoke to several other communities, and when we came to the fair board out here at the Central City Fairground, they were excited. They had the room. They are very veteran friendly here and have been solid partners for the last 3 years.
As the fair for 2021 comes to a close, we get to walk by the rock. Next year's fair, it will have the picture on it.
It will. It will be painted hopefully later this month or early in July. We can't really say when Mr. Sorensen will be here, partly for security reasons and partly, he has a day job as a state legislator. His schedule is not always his own.
What does it mean for you to be part of the group that made this happen? Now you see it living and breathing here. To be able to stand in front of it and talk about it, say, we got it done, it's now in Linn County.
I think this is great. I no longer work in Linn County, so I can step back and tell my kids that live up here, hey, this is part of your heritage, and this is the history of your community. It's here. We just had the unveiling of the rock down in Winfield for Henry County, and a friend of mine, Bobby Briggs, is painted on the side. Bobby died of wounds after the first Gulf War. So, each county tells its story based on its veterans. I'm hoping that some people I know are going to wind up on here. I also know that Linn has a very long and storied history. There are people well before my time that are deserving. So, I'm looking forward to see what story does Linn County tell.
And John, I think the last question is going to be, here we are, 2021, 100 years from now, when you and I are both gone, when the future looks at this rock, what do you hope stays with them when they come look at it at 2020 or 21 and beyond?
I hope that the history lessons are still there because, for example, Grant Wood, everybody knows him as a painter, but how many knew he was a World War I veteran? Or Marvin Cohn from Coe College, another great artist from the 20s, designed the red bull patch that half the Iowa Guard wears. Those stories need to continue on into the 22nd century.
Final question, I think, will be, and if people want to learn more about this rock or any one of the remaining, up to 99 rocks across the state of Iowa, where can they go?
We have a site on Facebook, Linn County Freedom Rock Foundation, and then the Linn County Fairgrounds also has links to interesting information about the rock and what's going on. And of course, Mr. Sorensen has the freedomrocktour.com page that has information about the other 98 counties and the original rock in Greenfield.
John, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for coming out to the fair.
You bet. So much to see. Unfortunately, our time at the fair has come to a close.
We had a lot of fun, though. I got to pet a horse, a baby hedgehog, and a chicken. Did you know that chickens are fluffy? I did not.
And now we all know, and we're better for the experience. For all of us here at MediaCom MC22, we'll see you next year.